Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back, and today we got really good news regarding GTA 6, okay? Because yesterday, Rockstar game devs came out and they started talking with Kotaku and they said that, yeah, GTA 6 is our next game and it's early in development. Like, what do you mean, right? Like, are we gonna wait till when we're like 80 years old? I'm not sure about you, but I don't have that amount of patience, right? But today, the information that we're getting is really good. It's coming from really good sources. Maybe we're not gonna have to wait till when we're 80 years old, okay? That's kind of like what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna talk about it in depth. In terms of a disaster, guys, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, and needless to say, I'm a little bit sus about it. Like, needless to say, I'm also confused, and the funny part is, I don't drink G Fuel, right? Smash the like button if you don't drink G Fuel. So we're gonna be talking about it because the news is not looking good, and in terms of PS5, it's another disaster. The news is kind of bad about it. It's because of the Ronnie situation, right? And I just want to get right into it. As always, I do everything about Call of Duty and gaming news. If a chat like you is into that, then subscribe. And our first story actually comes from Bloomberg. And guys, check this out. This is that Sony plans limited PlayStation 5 output in first year, and admittedly it's a fat article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I'm gonna give you the brief summary. I'm gonna talk about everything that they mentioned very fast, right? And we have a Vama out here, not necessarily looking like a snack because I'm an Android kind of guy. Just joking with you. PlayStation 5 report says devs anticipate high price range for console. I mean, you don't say, right? Like, especially knowing the Ronnie situation, you definitely don't want to be selling your consoles at a high price. But one would say that, hey Skizzle, but aren't we getting like $1,200 for free? Yes, but don't we have rent to pay? Don't we have food to buy? Don't we have supplies to get, you know? So there is always that aspect. But the gist of this article is that there are a ton of like inside sources. There are a ton of analysts who are talking about like the PS5 price. A ton of the game devs are also saying that they cannot see PS5 be less than $499 to $549 US. And if you're somebody here in Canada, I mean, with taxes, with the Canadian exchange, US Canadian exchange, it's almost gonna be $800. So that is definitely paper. I understand, like, there are a ton of gentlemen out there like you. I'm living life in the six. Maybe you're living life in the six. Do I want to assume that? Absolutely not, though. That's definitely paper. But the brief summary of this article is that they are looking to make far fewer units of the PS5 in the first year compared to the PS4 launch, which is kind of understandable because the Ronnie situation, my friend. Make sure you guys are washing your hands and smash the like button. And the Ronnie situation is gonna be affecting its PR plans, and it says that Sony may forego a press conference for PS5 release date and price, and that's where I am pressing extra doubt. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna pull my controller out. I'm legitimately pressing X to doubt here because I really don't think that Sony will forgo. Because, dog, knowing the facial expressions Sony make, like, literally, I don't think so they will forgo a press conference for something like the PS5. I definitely don't believe in this one. But it's coming from game devs, it's coming from insider, it's coming from analysts, it's coming from Bloomberg. So the article definitely have that, like, credibility, though, like, don't get me wrong. But this part, I'm a little bit sus about it. Knowing the fact that they're gonna be putting out a new piece of hardware, are you really not gonna like promote it? Like, I'm doubting this one, guys. But here's the thing, according to Damien Tong, I love the name. I absolutely love the name, and I quote, I think both the PS5 and Xbox Series X may end up at $450 US, even though they would lose money at that price, said Damien Tong, an analyst at Macquarie Capital. And the reason he said that is because obviously if they sell at a low cost, a lot of people will buy. The way they will make money is by actually pushing out exclusive games and the memberships, right? Like PlayStation got PlayStation Plus, Xbox got like Microsoft Xbox Lives. And you guys remember when PlayStation 4 first came out, it was $100 less than Xbox, right? And a lot of people bought like PlayStation. That's why Sony Pony came at the first place, and it sold twice as much as Xbox because they were selling $100 less. And on top, Xbox One came out with Kinect, and they were promoting like TV series and the Netflix, which the gamers did not want it. So that's why Xbox One struggled, needless to say, right? But here's the thing, man. The article also talks about the fact that Xbox and Microsoft, they are not looking to delay, and Sony will also not delay the console. It makes sense, right? Like, Sony is just all-time high, and Phil Spencer is sitting back admittedly, and he's like, we're gonna take the W. This is our chance to get the throne back, and we're not gonna delay Xbox Series X for the PS5. For Microsoft, it absolutely makes sense for them to not delay Xbox, because you know what? It's their chance to shine. And Sony, they are struggling. Obviously, they're not struggling in like exclusive game department or in terms of like PS5 having bad bad specs or good specs. They're not really struggling with that, but they're struggling to produce PS5 compared to like PS4 launch, right? Like they sold about 7 million units, and this time they're struggling to produce that same amount because of the Roni situation, and they're also struggling to put a price on it, right? Like game devs are saying that it's gonna be almost $499 to $549 US, and we heard from different sources that it's gonna take $470 US to produce a PS5. But they're definitely waiting for Microsoft, right? And if Microsoft really delay Xbox Series X, I think Sony will then delay. Otherwise, Sony will never delay. They don't like people getting ahead, okay? And it makes sense, right? Also, on the other hand, we got news regarding Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, and guys, this got people twisted, people finding double meaning, people dropping deuces, people just not happy. I mean, myself included. Like, was this information I wanted to hear? Absolutely not. And you can see people finding double meaning, people confused. This guy was like, hey, for F's sakes, more pretty excuses, Sony should just give us backwards compatibility at this point. And amen, I agree with this guy. And then shots came out of nowhere and he's like, it is lol, it's backwards compatible on Xbox One. And this guy was like, hey, that's why I said Sony. And then he's like, oh my bad, didn't see. So you can see people finding double meaning, people confused, and I don't blame the homies, right? Like, even I'm confused and I don't drink G Fuel. Smash that like button if you don't drink G Fuel. But Charlington says that a new rumor has claimed that Activision is not releasing Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer because too much of it has been changed in the process, and devs believe the community won't like it anymore. And I'm pressing extra doubt. I'm needless to say, I'm a little bit sus about it. And obviously they put out a full article, and this information is coming from the Gaming Revolution. And I'm not sure if you heard about this or not, but the thing about the Gaming Revolution is that just like this gentleman out here, the Gaming Revolution do not lose, and he's definitely reporting the credible information. And I'm not sure for how long you have been subbed, I'm not sure for how long you have been in the loops, but the Gaming Revolution source was behind Modern Warfare leaks, and that source was also behind the Warzone leaks and everything like that. And the same source said that it was in the works, and it is still claiming that it is in the works. And I have watched the Gaming Revolution video, and he legitimately got banned on Twitter after saying that Modern Warfare 2 Remaster multiplayer is gonna happen. Maybe it was Activision behind, I'm not sure. And the Gaming Revolution says that I have heard some recent information that apparently a reason as to why it hasn't released yet is because the game is apparently very different to the original Modern Warfare 2, and they've changed a lot of things, and they don't think the community will like it. And I mean, damn, how dare you say that, Activision? And I don't believe this one. Obviously, I'm not saying that I don't believe the Gaming Revolution or his source. If Gaming Revolution comes out and says something, I'm gonna take it as facts. Like, you know, you go back a couple of months ago when Activision was saying that we have no plans on making Modern Warfare Battle Royale. The Gaming Revolution was like, hey, they're actually making it, and it ended up coming out. But here's the thing, man. I have a guy who I know works at Activision. He doesn't tell me like a lot of information, but sometimes when he get hyped up, he tell me information. And a week or two ago, he said that it was in the works, and the Gaming Revolution said the same thing, and even Long Sensation is saying the same thing. But now Gaming Revolution is saying that it's still being tested. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily canceled, but it might be canceled for now. And obviously, if there is a lot of backlash, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, obviously, but I think that if people really get mad, if people drop deuces, if people go heavy, I'm not telling you to do anything, okay? But I think that if there is, you know what I mean, I think that Activision might change their mind. And listen, man, I don't drink G Fuel. All I want is a Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer. Maybe you're gonna drop some fly drops, maybe there's gonna be that, but I definitely want to see Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer. And even the Gaming Revolution is saying that it is not canceled. He can see the game come out next year. I know there has been theories, there has been like other sources. I don't want to call them real sources, but there were a lot of sources that were saying that we're gonna see it on April 30th. I'm like not sure about it. I don't think it's possible, but maybe it is possible. Time will tell us for sure. But the thing that I personally believe is that once the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign comes out on the PC and Xbox, data miners will definitely find multiplayer in the files. I can see that happen. But in terms of the release, I really think that we would have to wait a couple more months, guys. I'm a little bit sad about it for sure. And Ryan B, Prestigious Key, was caught spitting facts and says that it was given things needed to change and be repaired. Keep in mind, Modern Warfare 2 really didn't get the updates it needed back in the day. I have an open mind. It would be cool if they released it with whatever they did, then change it based off feedback from players. And I absolutely agree with that. And you know what? I've seen other people say this, so this is not like me saying this, but I agree with what people are saying. Basically, release a beta, right? Release a Modern Warfare 2 Remastered beta. like in a month or 2 months from now, or maybe during summertime when everybody's like dopamine deficient. Because let's be real, the Roni situation, right? Smash the like button if you have washed your hands today, but release it then, or maybe like if you're gonna delay Black Ops 5, just release it then, or maybe like next year. I'm down to it, but I definitely don't want to be 80 years old when this game comes out. And speaking of being 80 years old, everybody, GTA 6. Rockstar Games. And I mean, yesterday we saw IGN talk about it. We saw Kotaku talk about GTA 6. And the things that they were mentioning in the article was that GTA 6 is early in development. What does this mean? Does this mean that they started working on GTA 6 like a month ago, like 2 months ago, a year ago? We're not sure. But obviously there has been a ton of leaks. And when there are leaks on the likes of, you can fill like multiple books there, I mean, there's definitely something that's going behind the scenes, right? So personally, I really doubt that they started working on GTA 6 in the last year, like let alone 2 years. I really think that they were working on this game like 2015 or 2016, maybe even before. We had leaks that said that they started working back in 2013, like they were like scripting, they were putting ideas together, and I definitely believe in that, right? Like obviously they weren't working heavily on GTA 6 back in 2013, but putting ideas together, most likely yes, right? And needless to say, like there are a bunch of CVs floating around. I mean, George Canseco, right? Like this guy legitimately had GTA 6 in his resume, which we talked about, which literally everybody talked about. So that stuff is legit, right? So I definitely think that it was in production for a long time. And Tess Fun, he's a credible leaker in the GTA community. He spit facts, and he says that, oh, next title, a new GTA title is in, and I quote, early stages of development, ? It's hard to believe that when I'm hearing it's halfway done or even beyond that. And I'm like, damn, I'm hoping that's true. And says that, take note that RDR2 took approximately 8 or 7 years worth of development. Main production started right after Red Dead Redemption 1 release, and recording sessions began in 2013. Expect the same with the next title, unless it's early, as in we are nowhere near release, which is more believable. So, you know, there are definitely double meanings out here. Like, I'm not sure. And obviously Jan2295, another guy, another credible leaker, and even he got pretty sus out here and says that we said the same thing when Leslie got fired. RDR2 turned out fine, because this gentleman was like, oh boy, who's ready for an episodic GTA game, because that worked well for Hitman 2016. First, Leslie gets blackballed from Rockstar, then Dan leaves out of nowhere. We might just start seeing a decrease in quality with this company, hashtag GTA 6. And then obviously he says that Leslie didn't work on RDR2, and despite what Jason said, there is absolutely no way GTA 6 is still in early stages. Then he says that, I understand, but I'm telling you, it's just not possible unless they have a very weird definition of early stages. Maybe early stages of testing, sure, but not of development. And I really hope that this man is spitting facts. I mean, I believe this guy because he's a really credible leaker in the GTA space. He's like the gaming revolution, but for GTA, right? So I personally really believe that we're gonna be getting this game like late 2021 or early 2022. I think those leaks were true, but knowing the fact that Roni's situation is in full effect, and knowing Rockstar track record, they're pretty notorious for delaying the games, right? So let's say 2023 maybe. Like I feel like that we're gonna get it by 2023 or maybe even early. But if they seriously started working on GTA 6 in the last 2 years, then maybe we're gonna wait a little bit longer. Maybe we're gonna be 80 years old. Hopefully not, but let me know what your stud moment minds are in the comments below. Like and subscribe, check out the video on the screen, and I absolutely appreciate the heck out of you for coming on the video. I appreciate you massively, and I'll see you in the next one.